Okay. So you thought I wouldn't mention Ocarina of Time. You know what? I will. I will because, unfortunately, it happened due to pure mistake. I played Terminator 2D No Fade right after played this since I got the Ocarina of Time and it cartridge already, an authentic copy from back in the day. And I just got my analog 3D in the mail. Been waiting over a year for it. If that scenario didn't happen, you would have freaking shit like this popping up in the world. But yeah, it is. Okay? But anyways, let's go on and say this. This is an amazing game. Now, what is the story of this game? Now, let's just say this, right? This is the only teaser, but it's a remake of an older N64 game. So how about we just look up what the N64 game is? Ocarina of Time. We are gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, okay? Ocarina of Time. Okay, we're not doing the Beatles thing meme that they just did. So yes, there's gonna be probably a
Hello there, Commonwealth from here, and we
I have
have
a feeling
finished
they're gonna
all the
add
regular
like the
dungeons.
cut DLC from like the Nintendo 64 disc drive expansion. But anyways, and I know a lot of you are like, well, Caleb, how did this happen? Okay, look, I'm gonna clear some things up. We're not gonna get into timeline. I'm not gonna get into religion. I am not gonna get into any of that. I'll avoid the timeline stuff as much as humanly possible, okay? For my own personal life. So I'm just gonna talk about the game itself and nothing more. I don't know how this activated, but it's probably me that did it by accident. But let's do this. Let's go to The Legend of Zelda. Yes, we did Final Fantasy last video. Ocarina. Oh, no, we are not doing this sentence. Okay, I'll show you that maybe as a treat at the end of the video. But basically, and yes, there was a leak for like the Pro Controller theme Switch 2, which was amazing. I will get the Pro Controller with the game. Yeah, how do we say this? So, I know they're bombarding us with the new version. Let's just go to the N64 version. So what's the story of the N64 version? The story is your young boy in Kakaruku Village who thinks he's a Kokiri, who ends up getting a fairy. Gets either Robin Hood and Peter Pan inspirations with the outfit a lot. And he goes to the Great Deku Tree, has to cure him. And once he cures him, he dies and tells them of his divine destiny. And they must defeat Ganondorf. Now, Ganondorf. Here's the thing about Ganondorf. Ganondorf is the Demon King. He comes from a place called Gerudo Town. And in Gerudo Town, he was like the only Vo, they call him, not they, but Vo, king. He was the only male king. And he goes to Hyrule Temple. Let's just say, we're going to pull up this walkthrough first and foremost. Sometime later, and yes, ignore all the weird stuff this playthrough has. And he meets Princess Zelda in youth. And she tells him about her plan. He collects the second mythical stone that he got out, the first one he got from the Great Deku Tree from the Gorons, and helps them cure their area, and make sure that and then he finds he defeats the boss, gets the Fire Stone, he gets the Water Stone from the Zora Temple, And after he literally returns the stones, he pulls out the Master Sword because he's the chosen hero. And then it ends up fast forward 7 years later in a flash, and it turns out because he wasn't old enough to complete his destiny, he had to sleep in that temple for years. And what's even crazier in a crazy way, and then he literally walks out. The whole Hyrule is in ruin. There's Ganon's castle where Hyrule Castle used to be. Ganondorf won. Now, Ganon, this is the adult timeline. There is a timeline structure in Zelda. It is canon, so if we pull up the Zelda timeline, they had to create this to fit all the games into this singular timeline due to fan request. So if we go to Zelda, I know this is going to be really convoluted, right? Bear with me, okay? There are a few theories, but here's what happens. So apparently, and I believe this one more, because let's face it, they did reference older games in the unofficial Zelda timeline. This is a fan timeline, so yes, Ocarina of Time happens right here. And yes, I want an explanation in the new version how this timeline happens. But apparently the hero is successful in this one, not successful in this one. So Adult Link, that happened, that's why it's called the Adult Era. Because it's 7 years later in this one. So apparently, Link has to go to 6 temples. The forest, water, fire, spirit. 5 temples actually. There's 6 Sage Stones. You get 6 one, the light one in the end, in the like entrance of it. And there's also a, what is it? Spirit Shadow Temple. Now the order is forest, fire, water, shadow, or spirit. I don't know about if that's the exact order, but it's something like that. I have played the game, and my muscle memory actually now knows how to beat the new one. So basically, after awakening the sages and doing all temples, it's revealed that the person who told the person Sheik that Zelda is actually Zelda, the ninja that the Sheikah known as Sheik, is actually Zelda in disguise, and then she gets captured by Ganondorf, and Link has to go rescue her, and then after rescuing her and defeating Ganondorf, and yes, I will get into the censorship later. Which is why, yes, I'll get into that. I do not like the censorship. That's probably why, even though there's something that somebody got fired for in the Fire Temple ones, I do prefer the original 1.0 gold card that I have. And it is authentic. I checked. I actually did check. Yes, I got it off of eBay, but regardless, after rescuing her, the castle collapsed, and after they escape the castle collapsing, they have to face Ganondorf transforming into Ganon. Now this is represented in the final, I know one Lego set I want to get. So this is the set, right? And what happens is Link loses the Master Sword in the battle, and he has to use bow and arrow or the stun hem and a hammer most players have conveniently found out how to do, which is now part of the game, to get his tail. And after all that happened, convenient game design, he gets the Master Sword before it all happened, and he defeats Ganon once and for all. If you lose in the final battle in this new version, I do think there will be a scene that shows what happens. If there isn't, there's probably because part of the censorship. But I have a feeling the reason why it wasn't in the N64 wasn't due to censorship. It was probably because, let's face it, the N64 hardware was limited in cutscene space, and they tried really hard to have cutscenes in this game. Crazy amounts. And basically, after that, Zelda sends Link back to when he pulled the Master Sword when he was a child. He puts back the Master Sword, and then causes the timeline split. He becomes a child. Majora's Mask happened. I think there's one game in between, right here. It's yet to happen. That might be Ocarina of Time 3, and I don't think they're going to do it, but I did hear they're thinking about it. Right here, something happened with that caused Hyrule to be flooded in this one, because there was no hero to save them, and then the hero happened in Wind Waker, and that's why the adult era has more, like, of the Wind Waker style game, has Spirit Tracks and all that, has, like, Phantom Hourglass, you game it. 2 of them are DS games. I would like to see remakes, reimaginings, I mean, not even remakes, reimaginings of these two one day. So that way Wind Waker could get a proper trilogy. I would love to see that. But basically, after that happened, apparently that's where the whole thing happened, and this one might actually, I have a feeling this one's going to be censored too. Even though they have the storage space to do the cutscene. I don't think they're going to do it, but I will be shocked if they do. And then the whole classic era of the games happens. Link to the Past, SNES, Link Between Oracle Seasons and Oracle Ages, Link's Awakening, Link Between Worlds, Triforce Hero, and then the original NES Zelda games. And then in this one, after Majora's Mask and Hypothetical Ocarina of Time 3, we have Twilight Princess, Link's Crossbow Train, and then Four Swords Adventure. Might be a few more games in between here, and then it leads to this. Leads to Untitled Breath of the Wild prequel that might happen one day. And then there's another timeline split. This one Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity leads here. Yes, it is. These two are Dynasty Warriors games, but I think they should be considered canon in my head, even though the creators say they don't. If you've seen the official one, they just put Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom into no slot. They don't know where it goes yet. And I think if this is canon, they actually could know. I think this is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And then this has Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Hypothetical Breath of the Wild 3. And then after that, Eternal Reoccurrence to here. Leading to Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords of Ords, and Ocarina of Time again. This one could probably hypothetically continue on. So, yeah, that's my theory. That's a hypothetical fan theory. Creators don't really have this figured out yet. Fans do, which leads me to believe they might have a better... And yes, I'll get into that. But basically, the trailer was really vague about what
There was a
about for
land
newer
called
audiences,
Hyrule,
but we already know what
created
it's
by
about.
beings of supreme divinity. At the very edge of this kingdom, there lay a small
forest. Kakari Forest. Sorry-san.
Within it, an ancient solitary tree quietly watched Kiri in these woods.
And they are remaking this. I'm not
However,
kidding.
there was one particular boy who
Link.
did not have a fairy.
And yes, I know about the PG-13 Zelda movie coming out. It's going to get its own timeline placement. That's going to be pretty much a Zelda movie inspired by Lord of the Rings. I've seen that entire trilogy. Maybe not in theaters, but because of its iconicness, I've seen it at least once. And yes. Then you got the Triforce of Courage. Link has a courage. Zelda has wisdom. And Ganon has power. So, he has the Triforce of Courage, Wisdom, Power. Cock has power. This one's Wisdom, that one's Courage. We got the Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Pretty good teaser, and I cannot wait to see more. But basically, yeah. And, oh my goodness, it's been 15 minutes for this one. I've covered this one, so So I've talked a lot about, like, the Zelda. There will be one other one I talk about, but I'm going to be talking about how the creator managed to just not only be the director, but the developer as well. I will talk about that. Probably video 10. But let's just say this, right? And yes, this Ocarina of Goth got through time. That was accidentally caused. This is amazing, by the way. But yes, yes, and yes, this is amazing. So yes, let's say this. I love the new He-Man movie. So sad it failed at the box office. Let's see. Yep, I've had, like... She does look a little familiar. Oh, yeah, I have. Yes, that does look familiar. Then, what do we have? Yes, Sailor Moon. I don't know how I have these memories in my subconscious hidden away. Bye-bye, Farewell Edition. I have something about that. Snake, yeah, probably. These are just in so deep. I'm gonna... but you know what? Let's talk about this one, right? Version must have never happened. We'll talk about that, but... So hell, we'll get on to that one day. But basically, yes, somehow this happened. I don't know what happened. Something about... Wait, what is it? What's the video? Still think about this scene. It was a certain... Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the other one. Near Injustice Evangelion, Evil 1, Tokyo 3, Gainax. You still think about this time to time, every now and then. So think of these things. I do! I really do. I think about how insane it was that happened. Okay? And how I wish they got the manga ending, but whatever. Right? So yes, we're gonna move on from this. But yeah, here we go. So what do I think about the Ocarina of Time remake? I think it's potentially going to be one of the best remakes we've ever seen. May not get the same Metacritic rating, I agree. That was back when there was less reviewers, but it could potentially live up to the original game. And I'd say it's going to be like as impressive as The Last of Us is. Granted, if The Last of Us came out back then, it would be reviewed similarly to this. Part 1. So, keep that in mind. It's that good of a game. You want proof? Yeah, I'll show you proof. Metacritic top rated critic. If you look at the Ocarina of Time rating, look at this. It is the highest rated game of all time. 99, and yes, the only other games that came close, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, there we go. There's our proof of concept, yada yada yada. No religion, and oh gosh, they brought it in. But yes, apparently something happened about that, but regardless, it was the first time I ever beat it. I did play it back in the 3DS back in the day. Did change parts of the puzzle design, which I was disappointed. Yeah, this is a really good game. Ocarina of Time is probably the greatest game Nintendo's ever made. And the fact that they keep censoring the whole Smash Bros. Franchise so much. I'll mention this only once in this video. Could be the reason why they might lose the franchise. No, I don't know how that happened. I hate mentioning that. It's so embarrassing. Anyways. Yeah, you can see the crazy stuff I'm into. But yeah, And I do think Majora's Mask's going to be next. Where is it? Where? Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to go into... Wait. Oh, yeah. It's not in here. It's in movies. Let's go to movies and TV. Movies on TV. And we're going to go in here. And yes. Let's just say this. Toy Story. Whatever. Session. Animation compilation. Gran, I did watch Stitch Head, so this is happening. Somehow. It's supposed to activate in Cars 4, but yeah. I don't know how that leaked to D23. I don't know. Probably is my presence. I don't know what's happening here, but... Yeah, where are we? Where is it? You know, and part of this, I will show you one. Only approved movies currently, Cars 4 will activate the Disney stuff. Although there's some Disney stuff in there, like Star Wars, Avatar, and all that. Toy Story references, all that. So I do think Cars 4, the fact that it got announced at D23 and alternate. I don't know what's happening. I'm genuinely confused. But apparently, I'm really excited for it. If it doesn't come out on Switch 2 somehow and comes out never that one, it will most certainly come out in another somehow. Because you know what? We all know that... Oh, wait, what? How do we load it? Yes, Super Mario Galaxy movie is approved. That is an alternate sequel. I will not get into that. There's a true sequel being planned. I will not get into that right away. How do we load this? Where's the movie? Where's the movie? There's a movie that pops up. It has a logo slightly different in my YouTube feed. It's probably going to be some company named the Super Smash Bros. Company or something like that. Or brings it back. If they do, gosh, I better hold on to my old copies of these games. Only giving them out when they're as historical evidence one day. Where is this? Cripes, it's not even loading. Okay, Plan B, we'll do this. Here we go. Second attempt. Yes, this is improved, even though it's made by Disney. It's probably because Cars 4 was supposed to be the intended car point, but Stitch It could also be an intended. I don't know how that happened. Yes. Yes, there was an alternate version of Minecraft. Do not ask me how that happened. No, I swear, do not ask me. I will go into full disclosure in this one day, like Disclosure Day, but I'll just... Where? Minions and Monsters is a really good movie. I saw that. It was like the best Minions movie since that they've done recently. It's probably because it's a spin-off, focusing on a different subject, culture of Minions. Crap, how do we get to this? Do we really have to? Okay, we'll do it. We'll click on this only because
Show her just how much she means to him?
Hopefully it works. Okay, I think it maybe worked. Yes, there it is. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, the official logo, I did hear there's a director's cut coming out that's going to add new scenes. That's going to add brand new scenes. I'll talk about that in a later video. I'm only extending this by 10 minutes for one reason. Super. If you look at any official logo in my timeline, you clearly see one thing. Nintendo Illumination. Yet, for some odd reason, it pops up without those two. Now, I'll give it this. The critics were really unfair to this movie. Yet again, The Last Jedi was bashed by fans. Critics loved it. And I know fans absolutely adored this movie because it was a faithful adaptation. So I don't know what's going on. This is an amazing movie. Go see it when you can. And this is also good. But apparently, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is probably one of the best things I have ever seen come out of, like, Illumination. And it's probably because they did something different with this one. So, I'm not gonna... But enough about that. I will not get into ratings for other people. How for some others it's gonna be AO 18+, where it's E for me. I don't even know what's going on here. But yeah, this is... Let me be the longest one I do. Maybe.